Welcome to the favorites presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. I'm Brandon Kravitz, joined by my two faves, the red hot Stucky and Kendra. Seriously, folks, if you are not tailing these two week to week, you are costing yourself some money. On today's episode, we will submit our official plays for the week. We've got our stat of the day, two Kings and a Queen parlay. Hit last week. We'll see if we can do it again. We've got Kendra's pickle prop and the return of action or distraction. Let's kick things off with Evan Abrams' shrimply unbelievable stat of the week, straight from the primer. And we're going to go to Miami for this one. Josh Allen has started 8 career road games where he was favored by over a full touchdown, 2-6 ATS in those games. They've already failed to cover against Miami once this season. That was at home, and the Bills are coming off of the emotional win of the season. We didn't touch on this game on Tuesday's episode, so let's start there. Kendra, are we touching this game with a 10-foot pole? Bills minus 9.5.
I don't think so. No, the Bills have been really bad covering big numbers this year. We watched what happened with them with the Saints. I just can't get there. I think the Dolphins are worse than the Panthers, but probably better than the Saints, especially as currently constructed. I just can't get to that window. And I think the Dolphins might come out swinging a little bit this weekend. Obviously, they had some issues with the GM, kept the coach around, didn't make any trades at the deadline. I think the Dolphins are figuring out that this is what they're stuck with, move it or lose it. A lot of people on, contracts that might want to go elsewhere at the end of the year. Got to figure out what's going on with Tua. Bills just can't cover a big number this season. Can't get there. I would love to because it feels like the Bills are back. It feels like the Bills have momentum. I saw that they were maybe bringing Gabe Davis off of the practice squad, but can't do it. Not for me. Can't get there.
What about you, Stucky? This number was 2 touchdowns in Buffalo, and now we're down to 9.5. Do you think that this is a proper home field advantage adjustment for the Miami Dolphins? I mean, the percentages are overwhelming on Buffalo this week. Perhaps people overreacting to the Dolphins moving Jalen Phillips at the trade deadline. They didn't go in full fire sale mode, but how do you read this one?
I don't know. I mean, this first game, what Buffalo closed, didn't that close like 11? And I believe it closed like 11. Let me double check.
That would make sense given
it closed 11 and a half.
Home field flip.
Closed 11 and a half. Buffalo won by 10 in that game. But Miami had some chances. But Miami is now worse off. They have injuries on defense. They have traded some pieces. This roster is a mess. The Bills, I also think, are trending up on defense. Like, they were struggling on defense early in the year, but you got guys like Bishop playing better, the emergence of Hairston at corner. So, but they also lost Hoyt last week. They've lost Oliver. But I do think their defense in general, because the back end has been the issue. They can still generate pressure. Now, the run defense, I think, is still a bit vulnerable. So maybe Miami will have success there. And that's what you kind of want with a bigger dog. But I think this line is pretty much dead on. Numbers wise, I might have to look at Miami if this creeps up into double digits, but I'm not sure I'd get there. It's not the best spot for the Bills, right? Coming off that big win, going down to South Florida, but I'm just not sure where this Miami team is at mentally and also physically with all the injuries and just bodies that are missing. So this is probably one of the easier passes on the board for me, a game I want to totally avoid.
We keep waiting for the bottom to fall out, and maybe it happened last week. They did get blown out by the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday Night Football. This is another one. Then this is a reason to back the Miami Dolphins as dirty, disgusting dogs. I am looking to add another gross dog to my sheet for this week, so maybe I can be sold on one before the end of the episode. Since 2003, dogs of 7 or more at home after losing by 20-plus points in their previous game, 69, 46, and 1 ATS. That's 60%. And that signals the Miami Dolphins. But
it's a great buy low, sell high spot. I'll tell you that.
But I mean, all year feels like a buy low on the Miami Dolphins. So that's it's trying.
Not last week. I mean, they blew out the Falcons, but I'm just saying in principle, you have the Bills coming off this huge win as a home dog over the Chiefs. The Dolphins got blown out on Thursday night. At least have some extra rest and prep here. Divisional game, a lot of familiarity on both sides. So. If I had to bet it at 9.5, it would be Miami or nothing. But definitely with like a 10.
Back to football in a moment. Time to delve into the weird, the bizarre, the random. I'm going to kick it back over to you, Stucky, for your random question of the week.
All right, so you got to this is a hypothetical. Test your critical thinking skills, and it's kind of personal too. If I could give you $50 every time, would you take? You have to take one of these two offers. I give you $50 every time you yawn, or 1 cent every time you blink. What do you think you would take?
1 cent every time I blink.
I think I would take the 50 every time I yawn because I can kind of control that. It
You
has
can
to be a
control your
natural
yawn.
yawn. I mean, I
No,
could,
it's got to be a natural yawn. You can't be like, and then get
But if
$50.
You
if I
blink.
don't sleep on purpose, then I'd be yawning a lot and
You'd
You
also
racking
be
my
blink
blinking a
brain.
almost
lot more.
20,000 times a day.
No, I think you blink. Yeah, you blink like 1,000 times and
It's
a
1,000
thousand
times
times
per
an
hour.
hour. So yeah, I mean, I'm up a lot. I'm up like 18, 20 hours a day. So like in order to get to 20,000, so say you blink 20,000 in a day. If you get 1 cent, then you're at $200. So you'd have to yawn four
I think
times.
I definitely yawn 4 times a day.
I
Are
don't
you
know how
joking?
often I yawn. I feel like I don't yawn. Now they say the average person yawns 3 to 5 times. So like this is a pretty fair bet. But if you're a person that yawns more, or like if you're like, all right, I'm just gonna stay up more, but like, is it really worth it for a couple extra
I just think you're
yawns?
guaranteed to blink every single day. You're not guaranteed to yawn every single day. So I think in the long term, the blinking makes more sense than the yawning because there are days where like I'll sleep in and then I'll go to bed really early. Am I really yawning that much in that day? Like probably
I
not, but
don't know.
I'm
I think
guaranteed to
people
blink.
yawn a couple times a day without realizing it. Like people also yawn when they're nervous. It could be like a
I'm a
nervous
caffeine addict, so
rest. Um,
If you're not yawning, you're just not working hard enough. And I think
my
it's
dog
also good
sneezes when he
motivation
gets
to get it going.
excited. So
Yeah, I think
maybe
on the
I'll
math
start
it's
yawning.
close. It comes down to a personal preference. And then like some people just yawn more than others. Um, I
Evan, break the tie. Yawning or blinking?
ChatG ChatGPT says we yawn 15 times a day. That is not correct. There is
ChatGPT
no
is so full
way.
of shit.
There is no way I yawn.
what is
You just
Google?
have to do that math. There's no way that's true. I'll go with blinking because I just
That's
want to keep
yeah.
getting paid. I
That's
want to get paid every second.
$750.
Maybe I was
15
wrong. It
I
times.
know,
says
but
That's
some people yawn
750 a
up to
day.
20 times a day. It says the average person
there
yawns
can't be.
between 4 and
Not
20.
not a chance.
I think a lot of us yawn without realizing it. It's like you don't clock it.
I'm gonna try
Um,
and think about this over the next week. Every time I yawn, I'm gonna like try and add like a little like tick mark to like a notes.
okay, I'll try to do the same. That's my
Now,
question of the day.
ChatGPT ends with, hold on, it ends with, if you yawn less than 3,000 times a day, which is humanly impossible, blinking wouldn't catch up. I don't know what that means,
That
but
means
this is
nothing.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It's
What?
bullshit. Go with blinking.
I also don't want to be conscious of every blink that I have throughout the day because it gets, I mean, thinking about it right now and it's
Yeah, then you're
annoying
like
me.
just trying to blink extra more and it
You
just
could make extra money though, because you can make yourself blink.
but then you like would
Yeah.
be you would it would yeah, it would like ruin your mental state of mind. You can't focus on anything. You're just sitting there trying to get as many cents as you can every second of the day. So I don't know. That's my weird question of the day.
I'd take a gummy and just stop blinking because I'd forget to.
We're going to clock that one as distraction. Time for our game show this week, action or distraction. I'm going to start with Kendra. Davis Mills is in. CJ Stroud is out for the Houston Texans. The Jags have now flipped to favorites in this AFC South showdown. Action or distraction on the Jags as favorites on the road?
I don't gamble on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are a Jaguars podcast. However, I would prefer if it was CJ Stroud because the Jacksonville Jaguars historically do not perform well against backup quarterbacks. I think that they could lose this week badly. They just, for whatever reason, we saw it with Jake Browning, right? Like he's kicked the Jags ass last year with Flacco, or was it two seasons ago with Flacco, knocked them out of playoff contention. Just backup quarterbacks in the Jaguars, oil and water. Cannot get there. I feel like the Texans are probably going to beat the Jags this week. I said that they would split the home and home at the beginning of the season. I'm sticking there. That's how I feel. I don't know what it is about a backup quarterback. I want nothing to do with it. I prefer if it was CJ Stroud.
Davis Mills has been pretty terrible. I give myself one teaser per week because if they give just given where the juice is now on teasers across sports books, if you do too many, your win percentage has to be ridiculous in order to cash out on that. So I give myself one, and I've done a really good job this year of hitting on those, but you don't want to overdo it. Jags, when they were at +1.5, kicked up to 7.5, along with your plant the flag game, Kendra. The Lions down to 2.5, which is now not the best of the number on that side, but it is on the Jags side. I still think that teasing the Jags in this game, maybe the Texans pull out a
Don't tease the
win.
Jet. Don't tease through zero. Never tease through
No.
zero. Teasing through zero is you're just giving up 3 points for no reason. I think right now, if that's one piece of advice you ever take from this podcast, never tease through zero. I cannot. I mean, I could walk you through why that's horrendous for like hours, but just please never do that. If you're listening, I mean, you can do what you want, Brandon. You're allowed to, but if you're listening, don't tease through zero.
So
I think
I do I tease games every single week. I'm completely with you on that. If you want to bet the Jags and that was the only way you could get to the window on it, then fine. But you have absolutely missed the best of it. I would not do that as
yeah,
well.
don't tease it
So
now, but I do
I'm
think
with you on
that.
that.
Well, now, like I mean, wait, this isn't you're telling us about your teaser that's no longer available. I think now something that is available, the Texans are worth a tease. Uh, Teasing the Texans up over 7. As a dog, I actually like the Texans. If I had to choose a side here, the Jags do have a troubled history against backups. Although the last time they played Mills, they did win 31-3, I think. Um, Nico Collins has owned the Jags as well. Like Davis Mills isn't great,
Christian
but
Kirk revenge game.
yeah, Christian Kirk revenge game. Mills isn't great, but and they do have their tackle is hurt, which Houston's been improving their pass protection. Like last week, they weren't awful against the Broncos, who generated as much pressure as anybody. Broncos had their second lowest pressure rate of the season, but they lost Titus Howard as a concussion. And one of the things that they've done to help shore up their pass protection, they're going more jumbo. They're going more 6 offensive linemen. So without Howard, even on your standard downs, when you have Blake Fisher in there, who's terrible, that could ruin things for the offense. But this is still the best defense in the league at home. The Jaguars offense still not a well-oiled machine.
I don't think
And
BTJ is going to play this week,
yeah, they're banged up too. So
which might help everyone involved, to be honest. Like, I think he needs to sit down and shut up for a couple weeks, love him, mean it, but he needs a mental health day. And just like Jacoby, I think is going to play, obviously. So just let him go in there, take, BTJ's reps, give him a breather. I think that would be the best scenario for everyone involved. Blame it on an injury, whatever. Let him sit, cool down, figure
yeah,
his
but
shit
they have
out.
enough bodies at wide receiver if he doesn't. They're
I
throwing to
know
like
Travis
Tim
Hunter on
Jones
IR.
last week. So yeah, I think as a dog, the Texans are worth a look now. I also really love them as a teaser piece. I did tease them last night up over 7, and I paired them with the Jets. Both I think make a ton of sense. The best teaser options are through 3 through 7, and especially if there's a lower total. Points are at a premium, right? So the points that you're getting, say if you tease a dog that's 2.5 up to 8.5 and the total's 55, there's gonna be more points. Points are not as valuable in that game as they are in a game with a total of 37. So yeah, the Jets Browns points should be at a premium. Weather, two horrific offenses. So yeah, I like Jets Texans. That's my favorite tease of the week.
Stucky, the most disgusting game of the week by far is that Jets Browns game. The Jets fire sailed the deadline. This line moved from Jets -2 to Jets +2.5. Action or distraction on the line move here. I mean, you've already told us how you're playing into this, but perhaps the biggest dump at the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I think the line's probably moved too far. Now, granted, not all line moves are created equally. Moving from -2 to +2.5, you're not crossing any key numbers. You're not crossing any secondary numbers. Now, with these two offenses in a total of 37, you could argue every point matters. But every like a 4.5 point move from 2.5 up to 7 is exponentially more impactful than going from -2 to +2.5. I think it's moved too far because like you're not going to have Sauce Gardner, who's obviously really good and one of the best corners in the NFL, but it's the Browns' offense in weather. Like his loss is not going to be that the Browns want to run the ball. Like that's their so like Williams would be the bigger impact here. He's a good run stopper, but like he's a defensive tackle. They're not worth like that much. And I mean Gabriel can't already see. Now he's gonna have to deal with weather. So yeah, like I think we've gone too far here. And I would look at the Jets. I personally tease them, but especially if this goes to three, it's 100% the Jets. I mean, and this you got to remember the Browns' defense also isn't the same caliber unit whenever they're on the road. I mean, it's been that way for years. And this is a Browns offense. If you look at success rate, the bottom five quarterbacks in success rate, around 40% is like Nix, Ward, uh, Russ. Go down a couple rungs, and that's before you get to Gabriel, who's at like 36, 37%. So yeah, I don't think the loss of Gardner is that really that impactful in this particular matchup, especially given the conditions. So I think this line's moved too far. It would be Jets or nothing for me, but I personally tease them.
One of the dirty, disgusting dogs that people can buy into this week would be the Jets. Another one is the other team that shares a stadium with them. And we have an A grade luck game, Giants +4.5 against the Chicago Bears. So we've seen people that bet unlucky teams with an A grade, 28, 16, and 2. That's 64% ATS. A graded road teams are 18 and 7 ATS. That's 72%. Stucky's pod friend Chris Raybon on the Giants this week. Kendra, I know you hate this slate, and this is part of the reason why, I would think. But action or distraction on getting to the window on the Giants?
This would have probably have been my pickle game of the week if we were still doing that bit, just because the Bears will let up points. And Jackson Dart is probably the best kind of quarterback to create something out of nothing in the NFL right now, in my opinion, which might be a hot take to some because he's a rookie, but like he has no weapons and is still figuring it out. He's, scoring anytime touchdowns without these weapons, whatever. I would love to back the Giants here because I think the Bears are a little bit fraudulent. Their defense is just so bad. Both like they can put up points, and the Giants defense is kind of their saving grace right now. But where are the Giants going to get these points from? That's the issue for me. I would love to back the Giants in this spot because I think the Bears are overrated here. I just don't know where they're going to get the points from. That's the big thing for me. I'd probably maybe look at the under in this game, even though like it's clear that the Bears can score points. It's just, I would love to back the Giants. Don't know where they're going to get those points from to cover that number.
Their turnover differential this season has been ridiculous, +13, and that's the reason why we get there on the luck rankings. The Bears are at 30, the Giants are at 30th in the luck rankings. Caleb Williams still holding on to the ball way too long, and this is probably not the defensive line that you want to do that against. To me, the Giants are in consideration for me. Is that disgusting
Where are they going
dog
to
that I'm
score,
looking?
though? Who's going to score?
I mean, anyone could score on the Bears. The Bears defense is really bad. The thing I worry about here, this is a tough game to cap because, well, one, who's playing in the Giants secondary? I mean, because they're decimated. I mean, it's like Flott and Holland, Adebo. Are they going to play? Because I mean, once you start getting to their backups, there's no depth there. It is as bad can be. You do not want. I mean, Banks is already like in there now. Phillips is questionable. Like it's a mess. So who's playing there? They also have some offensive line injuries worth noting. Their tight ends are banged up, but there could be weather. There could be a lot of wind, and so that will like help their secondary. But that also could help the Bears secondary. The Bears secondary without Gordon, without Johnson is a disaster. And
Their
I do
defense
think
as a whole is a disaster, which
yeah,
could help
but
with that.
if there's a lot of wind and that it limits the passing attacks, it's going to help both secondaries. And then where this might be decided is the Bears rushing attack right now is elite. Number one in the NFL in success rate since October 1st. They are running all over everybody. Ben Johnson has that run game cooking, and the Giants have the worst run defense in the NFL. I mean, they can't stop any rushing attack. They got a good pass rush. They cannot stop the run. So if this becomes a weather game,
If I have to convince
and
myself of the wind to bet on a game, though, I'm just not going to do it.
yeah, you don't have to bet. I'm just giving my thoughts. Like,
No, I get it.
so like if this becomes a running game, the Bears have a much better offensive line. Their running game is much better, and the Giants' run defense is much worse than the Bears' run defense. So that ultimately could be the difference. The other thing to keep in mind, you're going to get a couple of these Giants games a year. I've already lost money on one. There was two last year. I had one. There was one already this year against the Chiefs. They didn't have a kicker because Gano got hurt in warmups, and then they had to go for two, and they had to go on fourth downs. This happened against Washington last year, and they scored like three touchdowns and it scored 18 points. Gano is hurt. I don't know if he's going to play. Or are they going to trot him out there hurt? Or like they don't have, like I guess it could be Koo. Koo I think is on their practice squad. They cut the Irish guy after he missed the extra points, but and then this is outdoors with wind. Like the Giants kicking situation could be a
Kyle
disaster.
Monangai game, question mark.
Yeah, he's probably he
Yeah,
looked
he was a
great
monster last
but
week.
that's what I worry about the matchup is because the Bears should be able to run all over the Giants and in wind that could be the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Kendra. The win thing, like that should probably tilt our betting thoughts on totals. If that is your deciding factor for a side, then you don't love the bet as much as you think you do. Action or distraction on Brock Purdy coming back for the San Francisco 49ers. It's possible. We still don't have word on that. Does this matter as you cap the game, Stucky? Action or distraction on Purdy?
Uh, I would rather have Mac Jones in there, especially like the first game. So I think Purdy is better, not significantly, but I don't think he would be in the first game. I mean, he could be, but I think like you have the rust. You see a lot of these quarterbacks come back first game. There's some rust they have to shake off. You don't even know, is he going to be able to push off? Is he going to be fully healthy? So I think it would add a lot of variance. And if I was wanting to back the 49ers, and I actually like the over in that game. I would want Mac Jones in there. I do think that we don't even know how bad this 49ers defense is because they haven't really played anybody and they've been getting shredded. Like they got destroyed by the Texans. They got the Giants were moving the ball on them with a bunch of backups and hurt offensive line. Now you're going up against one of the best offenses in the NFL. And the Rams they play fast. They will throw a lot. And then the 49ers are fairly fast compared to years past with Mac Jones. And I think this Rams defense is probably the most overrated unit in the league right now. I mean, they like rank like number one EPA per play. Statistically, they're like grayed out as the best defense in the league. Well, that's what happens when you play Cooper Rush and the Ravens. Uh, Last week, Tyler Shuck and the Saints. They played the
They don't make
Jags
their
in London.
schedule, though.
No, but I'm just saying. That's why I think they're overrated. Their defense is overrated. This is not. This secondary is extremely vulnerable. Like when they played Mac Jones and the 49ers, who didn't have half their team, Kittle didn't even play in that game. The 49ers beat them, and Mac Jones threw for 350 yards, and he was throwing to Kendrick Bourne 50 times, just looking at Bourne and throwing him, and Jake Tonjes. Uh, so I think the Rams defense has gotten overrated over the past few weeks because of who they played. Like you play Shuck, that the Jags offense and Cooper Rush in your past three games, um, you're going to look a lot better statistically than you probably are. So I think the 49ers will have success moving the ball. It's crazy. This is a crazy stat. These teams have met 14 times since 2019, including the playoffs. The underdog has gone 13-1 against the spread. 10 of the 14 have been won by the underdog. So 10 of the 14 games have been outright upsets. Two teams very familiar with each other. There's not a lot of home field either way because of travel. There's fans are there from both teams. So generally speaking, this has been an underdog matchup, but I just fear for this 49ers defense in the state that it's in. I mean, they got nothing left going up against this Rams offense with Nakua good to go, which is huge against the 49ers zones. It could get ugly, but I think the 49ers can score their fair share of points. But I do think it matters, like, because Purdy could just be like right now, the Mac Jones is in rhythm with the offense and he's doing a good job. But if Purdy comes back, it just he could be rusty and it could just throw everything off. And you can't afford that against the Rams to get behind with that 49ers defense. So I do think it matters.
And that's where I'm at with San Francisco is I want to back San Francisco. I want to like them better with Brock Purdy out there, and I can't quite convince myself that he's better for them right now, even if I'm not a long-term believer in Mac Jones. And so it's this sort of weird mental gymnastics where you like one quarterback better than the other, but you're not sure that they're better for the specific moment. Also, historical momentum here, not on San Francisco's side. This is from the primer this week. Since Christmas of 2023, the 49ers are 1-14 against the spread after an outright win. That is the worst mark of any team in the NFL. So Kyle Shanahan having a hard time backing up that momentum. Tom Brady cloned his dog, who passed away in 2023. Kendra, let's wrap up our game show. Action or distraction on that not being something we need in our society. It's weird.
Okay, so I'm very much on this is like the peak of having fuck it money, but Tom Brady is not the first celebrity to do this. My question at the end of this would be, since we're all dog people, if you would clone your dog. However, Tom Brady's cloned his dog. Barbara Streisand cloned her dog Samantha to have two puppies named Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet. So she had two clones of her dog. And then Paris Hilton also cloned her dog Diamond Baby into twins named Diamond and Baby. Simon Cowell has also used pet cloning services before. Would you guys clone your dog if you could? I'm in the camp of no, because there's my dogs. I've always had rescues. I will always rescue. There's dogs who need homes. However, I will say Paris Hilton has influenced me because I saw that her dog lived to 14 because she was doing red light therapy with her dog. So me and my dog do red light therapy together every morning.
What the fuck is red light therapy?
Oh my gosh, you have to look into it. I've been doing red light therapy for years in saunas, but I got one of the like industrial red light things for my apartment. So now I sit on my floor in my underwear in the morning with my dog and we do red light therapy together. It's supposed to like help you live longer. It helps your skin. It helps your hair. It helps like your energy. You should look into red light therapy. I'm sure Stucky knows about red light therapy. He gives that energy.
Yeah, I do that every morning. So
Yes, I knew it.
I have no idea what that is. So I know I would never clone my dog. Your dog is your own. It's like he's my dog, and I don't like I don't I will cherish the
Are their
memory of him once he's
personalities the
gone.
same, do you think?
I don't know.
The genes are identical. You would think, but I mean, twins have similar genes and have different personalities. So I would lean towards probably, but who knows? I think we should abandon the cloning thing. It's just weird, and it is a waste of money.
Yeah, because like,
Aren't
but
Go ahead.
because a lot of the dog's personality is shaped by their experiences. So like you could say that if they're in the same, like it's your genetics and your experiences in your environment. So if it is the same environment, you could have similar. But like if you get a new dog, like their personality, a lot of times your pets take on your personality in a lot of ways. So like even if you got a new dog, their personality would be shaped by you and
But they're
your
doing
environment.
this with like dire wolves though in science to see if we can like clone dinosaurs again. So I'm like, are we really just using our money to like low-key fund dinosaur cloning in
If
a
we're
weird
gonna
way?
bring back animals that no longer exist, that can get down on cloning. But if we're just cloning animals that are already overpopulated in our world, then I don't understand.
Okay, if you could
that.
clone an animal that doesn't exist anymore to have it as a pet, what would it be?
Triceratops next.
Mine would be a velociraptor for sure.
They're way too vicious.
I
I think
like
that
it.
You want a plant eater.
I told you earlier I would want to kiss a rattlesnake on the head, so yeah.
I mean I think that there's a the they're trying to clone woolly mammoths and bring them back.
Hell yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
I'm
those
into
are
that.
for like the ecosystem and in the Arctic, and for like climate change reasons because they were like a huge part of if you have them, they trample snow and it it gives you colder winters and the permafrost doesn't melt as quickly. That's one of the main
Oh,
reasons I
Red
believe.
red
that's
light therapy.
sick.
He doesn't know that. He knows.
Are blue-footed boobies extinct?
No, I They're my wife's favorite animal. And
That's sick.
we saw plenty of them in the Galapagos Islands.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
and we got like a bunch of blue-footed booby. Like they have so much stuff down there, like I love boobies, the shirts, and um, but no, that is my wife's favorite animal, the blue-footed booby.
Okay,
They're
so they're still
beautiful.
around. I would clone one of those little shits too.
I just blinked like 20 times. Somebody owes me $1. I'm going to clone Kendra right now. Two kings and a queen parlay coming up right now. She'll tell us about DraftKings.
The Favorites podcast has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers can bet $5 and get $300 back in bonus bets if your bet wins, and 3 months of NBA League Pass. To get started, use promo code Favorites when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code Favorites when signing up and bet $5 to get $300 back in bonus bets if your bet wins, plus 3 months of NBA League Pass. The crown is yours.
Kendra, what prop has you in a pickle this week before we get to our community parlay?
Okay, you guys. Drake London, as a person, has me in a pickle this week. Do we fade or follow his monstrous game last week in a matchup that seems to favor him once again? Is he getting sauce this week? Did they go back to Bijan? He was a real moneymaker for people last week. I want to think this offense has figured it out, how to use him, etc. The price is plus 145 for an anytime. I don't know if I can get there or not. I need you guys to convince me or not. I'm letting you guys control my brain like Plankton in that episode of SpongeBob.
Is getting sauced still a thing? I feel like the Colts way overpaid for Sauce Gardner with the 2 first-round picks. But
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you to do it because the Colts have been. There's a reason why they made this trade. They have been a sieve against opposing wide receivers. London's a beast. There's no reason why he shouldn't have a good game here. So whether you want to go receptions, yards, touchdown, pick your favorite poison, I think Drake London props make a lot of sense this week.
Stucky, what do you think?
On London or the Falcons?
Drake London.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, how much is Garner going to play? How are they going to use him? Is he fully up to speed? I think he's going to start, but it's like a short week with travel on a new defense. So I don't know. Are they going to have him follow London? Are they going to keep it simpler for him? I can't give you the insight because I really don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty there, which is why like I bet the Falcons, but I don't like my bet as much. Obviously, I bet it early in the week
I also bet the Falcons. But
before
they're
the
in Germany. This is not a US game. This is a Germany game.
Now, if London was in London, this would be a lock. I don't know if we can use the same sort of overseas translation with his last name as a reason to bet this.
yeah. It's now the Falcons have offensive line injuries. They could be without both their guards. They're already without their right tackle. And the Falcons, they can get pressure. Their defense should be healthier. They should get like Harris and Bowman back this week. But the problem is they can't stop the run. And um, they cannot stop the run like at all. And especially with Diablo out. When you got like it's bad. Their backup, their depth at linebacker. So that's problematic against Jonathan Taylor. And after last week, Shane Steichen has been pretty vocal about the fact that he didn't get the ball to Jonathan Taylor more. So I feel like this is going to be a heavy Jonathan Taylor game. He should have success on the ground. That would in turn make Atlanta start to come in, help bring their safeties down, and then that's going to set up some easy play action throws. Now, I do think this line is still too high, but like adding Sauce Gardner, and like our producer just said that the Colts have been #1 against #1 receivers. Yeah, well,
That
a lot of that
shocks me.
Well, a lot of that is with Charvarius Ward, who's been statistically the best cornerback in the NFL this year. But with him out, and there's a lot of noise in those DVOA versus #1 receivers, but with him out, it was pretty bleak on the outside. But now you add Sauce Gardner, you kind of plug that gap. And then once Ward comes back, they have arguably the best collection of corners in the NFL. But I thought London was going to have a huge game, and he should have. But now Gardner kind of cloudies that. The offensive line injuries, the matchup with the running game. Now, the caveat is I do think the line is a bit too high. The Colts are playing, it's a grass field. This, I think, helps Atlanta a little bit. And Daniel Jones could always pumpkin this game away. So, but I did bet the Falcons. Don't love it. If I were to recommend what to do now, I would wait see if a 7 pops, then I would take Atlanta. If not, I'd probably avoid. But
It
I'm
is
already in.
it is our first opportunity to buy low on this red hot, white hot Colts team. We haven't really had these chances because they've been such cover spreading monsters. And then Daniel Jones did have that game where he pumpkined on Halloween.
Told you it was coming.
It happened. So do they go back to what they've been for the entirety of the season? I think very rarely this year have we had a chance to buy low on this Colts team. We've been waiting for the fade. We kind of forgot about it. Stuckey bet them last week, but as a community podcast here, we didn't do it.
The games abroad, the unders have been hitting though.
I would not. You're not really. I don't think you're really buying low on the Colts. I mean, they're laying 6.5 on a neutral field against the Falcons. That is not buying low.
Evan said buy low at 6.5. I'm just bringing up. This is just a
numbers. The number matters.
Like,
you can't just say buy low because they lost. Like this number was, like trending to 5, and now it's 6.5. And like it wasn't even going to be 6.5 if the Colts won last week. This wasn't going to be 7 in any world. So I don't think you're buying low at all in the Colts. If they go on a losing streak, maybe there's a chance, but the Colts 6.5 points better than the Falcons on a neutral field is the furthest thing from buying low. I like the Falcons in the number. Like I think this should be like 4.5, 4. Now with Gardner, the offensive line injuries, the rushing matchup,
neutral field
gets a little dicier. But no, this is not buying low on the Colts.
Do we think the Germans like Daniel Jones because they've seen him play before? Do we think it's going to be like, because I've been to games abroad, they're pretty neutral, just people going to see a game, but because the Germans have, been like, do we think that it's going to be a Colts crowd?
I think 99% of Germans in attendance don't know who Daniel Jones is.
But no, that's not true. They watched him play, what was it, last year or the year before?
That's a forgettable experience. By the way, to poke a hole in my own thought exercise of the buy low.
Ich habe keine Ahnung, by the way. I don't know. I can speak some German. That's my own.
Oh, okay. I was like, did he sneeze? 58% of the bets right now on the Indianapolis Colts. So no, you guys are right. Not a buy low. But it was, hey, listen, if they lose this week, maybe the buy low comes next week. Something to keep in mind.
Well, they got to buy next week, so you'll be buying the buy.
Will it be buy BYE low?
Be selling the buy.
So let's get to it. 2 Kings and a Queen Parlay. We each nominate 2. We battle over who we stick in there. 3-leg parlay, and then we send you on your merry way. Kendra, I'm curious to see what direction you go with this because I know how much you hate this slate. So will you even nominate anything?
You could always pawn it to Evan, by the way, if you don't have anything.
Here's my plan. I wrote out all of the bets that I was not even going to bet anything this week outside of the Lions that I got with the 3 earlier this week. But I'm going to give you guys what I have, and I'm going to let you guys pick, okay? I hate this slate so much. I hate it. I want to be on the Falcons. I did wind up getting to the window on them just because the neutral field aspect convinced me to. So you have the Falcons. I have Vegas tonight, so we can't put that in there. The Lions I got at -3. They're now -8, so that's an option for you. And I also have the Ravens, but I know that Kravitz also has the Ravens. So those are your 3 options. Those are every single bet I have for the week. I hate this slate. I want nothing to do with it. I hate everyone all the time, but those are your choices.
I don't have the Ravens. I like the total more specifically. I did put in the app Ravens money line over 41 parlayed even money. That is a bet that I have, but we don't put parlays into the parlay, so I'm not going to tee that one up. I would nominate the total in that game though at its full price. I still think it's.
Do we just put Stuckey in a blender and go both of us Ravens? You with the total, me with the Ravens.
Yeah,
we got to vote. So, what are your nominations, Kendra? You don't even like the Lions.
Falcons. You can take the Lions at the 8 or the Ravens to cover. Those are your really, once again, shitty options.
I guess we'll start off, and I guess I'll vote. I mean, I bet the Falcons, so and I show value at the number. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, but
okay, Falcons.
I don't like these international games. I would vote Ravens.
Evan.
If we can go Ravens first half money line, I'm in on
Evan.
that. That was going to be one of mine. But Evan, do you want to help us break it? You're on mute.
Oh no.
You're
Oh,
on
he's
mute.
he's rolling too.
He's like, no.
That
I
looked
don't
like
wanna
that
do
was some
this.
good shit.
My wife was texting me and making noises, so I had to go on mute. But now I'm off mute. Ravens
Wait,
first
can
half
you
money
play
line
them?
was what I was. Oh no, she was just talking about football. It's nothing good. She has
That's a
football
good
takes,
wife.
but Ravens first half money line would be the one for me. What if you buy low on Atlanta? What if you just completely do the opposite of what we just talked about and call Atlanta a buy low and take the
Yeah.
Falcons?
But Atlanta just covered. Does that count as a buy low if you're coming off of a cover?
Well, that was in
I
my
don't think
notes
there's a
too.
buy
I
low in
did.
that game.
The Falcons cannot put together more than 2 weeks at a time if you look at their schedule, and this would be the third week, which is the only reason I did get to the window on the Falcons.
Well, the
However,
Falcons have 49er issues, which is they don't play well after playing well. They don't string together playing well.
What
They
Colts
never
have a
do
look
that.
ahead too.
what if
I
we
mean,
just put
they're taking the bye, but they still have the Chiefs after that.
what if we just put your Drake London prop in here?
No, we don't want to prop in here.
Oh yeah, because the Colts are number one versus
Yeah,
number one wide
Brandon, you
receivers.
idiot.
How about all right? What about Kendra? Do you
Guys
like
are such
Ravens first
assholes.
half money line?
I like Ravens first half money line. That would be
Kendra, do you
my
like it? It's Kendra's pick. Are you okay
Fine,
with that?
fuck it. I think that we should just go all Ravens here, just to put Stucky in the corner.
No, Ravens first half is going to be one of my picks. For what it's worth, Lamar first half 61, 36, and 2 against the spread, covering by a field goal per game. 53, 30, and 2 against the spread as a favorite. As a favorite away from home, he's 28, 10, and 1 against the spread, covering by 5 points per game in the first half. It's insane.
All
Extra
right, yeah,
time
we'll
for
take
him to
it.
heal. Their defense is much better. Weeks 1 through 5, they were 30th in EPA per play. Since then, 7th in EPA per play, 4th in success rate, 9th in dropback EPA. I think they come out hot here. He's been very good against NFC teams, teams that don't really see him a lot. I think they shocked him early. They can hit explosive runs. The Ravens' run D is still really bad, but the Vikings aren't efficient running the ball. So I like
The
that.
Vikings suck. I'm gonna say it.
Hey, listen,
Ravens,
the sale has been made. I think we've locked it
Yeah,
in.
you've talked us into this already.
Ravens
First half money line. Brandon, what are your two choices?
Mine are Bucks minus 2.5 against the Pats, or that same game, Ravens Vikings over 49.5.
Bucks. I like the Bucks.
I don't like either. So I'll let Evan, what's your vote? I mean, I just don't have any feel on either. So
Yes, Evan. I
Yeah.
love when we do this to him.
No, I hate both of these as well, but I think it would be more fun with Baltimore and having both sides on that game, having two things in the same game, so we could be rooting for a lot. Let's just root for Baltimore to go up 28-0 in the first half.
Baltimore balls to the
So
wall.
Ravens
Let's do
over and the Ravens first half money line. It would be
Yeah.
good because if the Ravens get up, it's going to make Minnesota throw and not lean on the run, and mistakes will probably happen, and that game could get squirrely. All right, my two choices. I played the Commanders, but I know you guys aren't going to vote for that. I think that
Hell
line
nah.
is ridiculous at 8. The Lions are broken right now and have no offensive line, and can't run the ball. So I'll nominate the Cardinals. Now I'm waiting for a 7, but I'd still bet 6.5. We were talking about a real buy low or sell high. This is, I think, a real sell high of Seattle. So they're at the peak of their market. I do think they're legit, but like the Cardinals, I think, are still the most underrated team in the NFL. This is a
The
team that hasn't
Seahawks are my darlings, you guys.
we haven't gotten
They
there.
are.
I think you'll get a 7 again.
Yeah, I think we'll get a 7, which is the only thing I'm worried about. But like since
There is
that-
one. There's 1-7 right now, but not anywhere we can chat about.
yeah, so but the Cardinals offense is better with Brissett. And by the way, they are perfectly designed to stop the Seattle offense because they don't allow explosive passes. Seattle goes heavy and off play action, and Darnold's been great. He's been great against the blitz. The Cardinals don't blitz. They will play their 3 high safety looks. They've done the best job against Seattle's offense all year. They held them to 20 points And by the way, in that game, they didn't have all their corners. Williams didn't play. Who else didn't play? Will Johnson didn't play. They just added Walter Nolan, who looked tremendous. Their first round draft pick, who made his debut this week. So this Cardinals defense is structurally built to slow down Seattle's offense. And this Arizona offense is just, they can play with anybody. They have played with everybody all year. They haven't lost by more than 4. And they've lost like 3 or 4 games at the last second, including one against Seattle. I think this 9 is too high. So the only thing I'm worried about is I think we'll get a 7 eventually, but it's at 6.5 now. But that would be a choice. And my other one would be, let me see what I've played or would play.
Oh,
So I
you guys,
played
I love
Ravens
Sam
first half
Darnold so
money
much. I
line.
don't know
I
if
mean,
I
the
can
good
do
thing,
that.
the good thing with DraftKings is you can just move the line to 7 for a little juice if you want it, because I believe the 7 is worth the move in this type of game.
Can you
And if
move it
we
to
like
7, or would it
Arizona,
only let you move to 7.5 because it's at 6.5? They
I
might not let
think
you move it.
it's a good question. It's a good
I don't think they'll
question.
let you move it to
I
7.
thought you could.
They have the Rashid Shaheed ad too, and I think he's going to help them instantaneously on Seattle's side.
I would say the Packers too, but you're not going to vote for that.
Definitely not.
So
Still waiting on that 3 to pop up, by the way. Stucky, where's that?
Ooh,
I didn't say it would. I said you might as well wait. Just like you might
But
as well
why?
wait on
It's
the.
sitting at 2. Why would I? I got the best of the anyway, I'm not going to fight with you about
my
that. Man.
parents
We have
are
a parlay
fighting
to
in the
pick.
kitchen
We
again.
have, we have a par- we
I
have a
also
parlay.
said you should have
Private
waited
outlet.
on the Raiders, when you might get a 10 there. So um, yeah. So I guess mine would be Cardinals plus 6.5, and we'll go Jets money line. Like the Browns shouldn't be a road favorite here.
I can't bet that Jets Browns game. I don't want anything on that game, period. So I'll go Cardinals plus 6.5. They showed some fight last week. I like their defense. Seattle, I mean, this is probably peak of the market for them. They've been so good. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense, divisional matchup, getting nearly a touchdown. It makes sense to bet Arizona here. I'll go Cardinals.
Kendrick, Cardinals or Jets?
I'm gonna probably say the Jets.
No.
Evan?
Angry Birds.
Yeah, Cardinals.
All right. We got it.
You
That-
guys are gonna make me cheer against the Seahawks. I hate it here. You guys
is
do
the-
it to me every single week.
It's the All Birds. 2 Kings and a Queen Parlay presented by DraftKings.
Birds
The
aren't
crown
real.
is yours. These birds are real.
They
Ravens
work for
first.
the bourgeoisie.
Ravens first half money line. Ravens Vikings over 49.5. Cardinals plus 6.5 against the Seahawks. Even the Cardinals are going up against another bird. It's
Bird
just an
on
all
bird
bird
crime.
Caca. And that'll do it for today's episode. Special thanks to our producers, Gifford Gould and David Payne, our stats guy and tiebreaker, Evan Abrams. The favorites will
Jesus
return
himself.
Sunday night, no doubt. Week 10 recap coming your way Sunday night. Catch it on the Action Network YouTube page. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time right here on the Favorites Podcast, presented by DraftKings. Fly, birds, fly.